Hello everyone. In previous lecture, we have discussed the gas-solid separations, the need for gas-solid separations and different methods involved in gas-solid separations such as single cyclone separators, multi-cyclone separators, electrostatic precipitators and scrubbers. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the solid-liquid separations, the need for solid liquid separations and different methods involved in the solid liquid separation. First of all, we need to know what are the solid liquid mixtures, where do they come from. The solid liquid mixtures are nothing but the solid concentrations in the liquid medium. Whenever the solid concentrations are higher, we call it as sludges. Whenever these liquid concentrations are higher, we call it as slurries. The slurries are coming from three different places. The first one is raw material slurries, where the solid impurities will be present. The second one is the product slurries, and the third one is the effluents generated from the process. Why do we need a separation process? In separation process, we need to separate the three different slurries. The first one is raw materials. We need to separate the raw material slurries from the liquids. The raw material slurries will be coming from the raw materials dissolved in water. For example, in caustic chlor industries, we dissolve sodium chloride with impurities in water. Then we will be removing the impurities from the thickening tanks. Second one is the sedimentation process using the slurries. The slurries from the product stream will be sedimented and they will be sprayed so that the product will be separated. The third one is the effluents. The effluents will be collected and then the safe disposal of water and effluents will be done either in the collection pits or from the zero liquid discharge process. Now we move on to different methods involved in the solid liquid separation process. The first one is the sedimentation or gravitational settling, where we will be using the gravitational force for separation of solids and liquids. The second one is the filter cake. The filtration will be used as the medium so that the filter cakes will be produced. The third one is the thickening tanks, where we will be using the thickening process. The fourth one is the zero liquid discharge process, where we will be using the zero liquid process for separating all the solids and using the wastewater internally. Now we move on to the solid settling tank or gravitational sedimentation tank. The gravitational sedimentation tank will be using the gravitational force for settling the water and the different solid parameters. The solid materials will be settling at the bottom and the clear liquid will be discharged from the top. The feed slurry entering is left for some time so that the settling will be effective. Then the solid separation tanks will be useful for sedimenting the liquids which is from the sewage tanks or from the domestic and industrial wastewaters. Now we move on to thickening operations. The thickening operations are useful in the treatment of slurries from the raw materials and the product side. The slurries will be coming from the top and then it is able to separate at the bottom. The clear liquid will be discharged from the top. The feed particles will be sent to the cylindrical tank or from the middle. From the middle, the particles will be changing to different launders and the clear liquid will be separated from the top. The thickened liquid, that is the solids, will be coming towards the bottom and we can remove from the conical tank. Then the clear liquid will be sent to decantation tanks so that more clearer liquids will be obtained. Generally, the settling is mostly hindered settling in the thickeners. So in order to overcome those hindered settling, we will be using the coagulant materials such as alum, which will be making the settling more smoother. The next one is we will be heating the solution apparently, so that the viscosity is reduced and the small rotating arm which will be helpful in concentrating the liquid and then consolidates the solids, so that the apparent viscosity is reduced. There are different types of thickeners such as batch thickener and continuous thickeners. In batch thickener, it is consisting of a cylindrical vessel with the conical bottom. In batch thickener, we will be having a storage of the slurry. Then when we allow it for the calculated time, the solids will be settling at the bottom and we will be removing from the solid sludges from the bottom. the clear liquid will be taken from the top and it can be decanted to obtain more clearer liquid. Now we move on to the continuous thickeners. In continuous thickeners, we will be sending the feed slurry, the clearer liquid, and the bottom sludges will be removed continuously. The feed liquid will be introduced at the center of the shallow bottomed, higher diameter and conical cross section bottomed tank. The tank will be having the introduction of feed at the center at least 0.3 to 1 mm below the surface. It will be clearing different launders so that the clearer liquid will be obtained. The solid concentrated solids will be sent to the bottom so that the rake will be rotating and it will be concentrating the solids so that the sludges will be removed. Now we move on to the working of the continuous thickeners. In continuous thickeners, the solids will be concentrated by the rotating arm, that is also known as rakes. The solids are concentrated at the bottom by moving the solids towards the center of the outlet. The solids are concentrated and the water is removed from the solids and it is sent up. The upward water will be reaching the surface and moving towards the clearer section by crossing different launders, and the concentrated slurry, that is the solid particles, will be entering the bottom and removed as sludges continuously. The two important functions of the thickener are obtaining clearer liquid from the slurry and obtaining certain required degree of thickening from the solids. Now we move on to the working conditions of the thickener. The two important working conditions of the thickener are, the first one is the upward moving velocity of the liquid should be always lesser than the settling velocity of the solids. The second one is the dimension of diameter of the thickener should be determining the dimensions of the capacity of the thickener. Now we move on to the batch sedimentation test. The batch sedimentation tests are the preliminary test for designing the thickeners. The batch sedimentation test will be handling the solid liquid slurry in a cylindrical glass beaker. Initially, the solid liquid slurry will be of uniform concentration and it will be having the zone B, and we will be seeing the different zones of settling in the next slide. Now we move on to the different zones of batch sedimentation test. There are the different zones are A, B, C and D. Initially, when we use the feed slurry, the of uniform concentration, that is of zone B. When we have the zone B and allowing it to separate for some time, it will be having the different zones such as A, B, C, D. A zone will be having the clearer liquid and the D zone will be having the concentrated liquid. The B zone is already present, that is the feed slurry zone, and the C zone will be having the non-uniform concentration of solids, which will be between the B zone and D zone. The difference of margin is negligible. When we still allow it for separation, we will be having A zone and D zone. The D zone will be compressed so that it will be having A zone and D zone. D zone will be having the proper thickened solids and A zone is the clearer liquid. Now we move on to the ultimate height of the compressed zone. The ultimate height of the compressed zone reduces at the ultimate stage when we have A zone, B zone, Z zone and then D zone. So all four zones will be present. At last only A zone and D zone will be present. The A zone and D zone heights are increased at the expense of eradication of B zone and C zone. At last we have A zone and D zone, and initially so D zone will be having higher height. After that, after compression, we will be having the D zone at the reduced height. Now we move on to the different zones of thickening present in the thickener. Similar to the batch sedimentation test, such as zone A, zone B, zone C, zone D in batch sedimentation test, in thickeners we do have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. The first zone is the compression zone, which is present at the bottom of the thickener, where the compression of the solid particles takes place and we will be removing it as sludges. The second zone, zone 2, is the upper compression zone where the compression of the solid particles takes place. The zone 3 is the settling zone. When the feed particles enter and which is released in the center of the thickener, the particles start settling from the zone 2. The zone 4, that is the top zone, which is having the clarified zone. The clarifying water which is entering from the zone 3 is separated by passing through different launders and taken out as clarified liquid. Now we move on to the next method, that is the filtration process. The filtration process uses the filter medium to separate the solids and liquids. The solids will be forming the filter cakes and the liquids will be removed from the solid liquid slurry. The filtration operation is of two types, that is the batch process and continuous process. In batch process, we will be loading the slurry and we will be using either pressure or vacuum so that the water will be removed and the filter cake is obtained. The second one, that is the continuous filtration process, is using the feed slurry continuously and removing the filter cake and the water that is removed continuously. The thickness of the filter cake is calculated based upon the time of filtration. The different equipments involved in the filtration process are rotary drum filter, filter press and rotary vacuum drum filter, where we will use either pressure or vacuum to separate the filter cakes and the liquid. The filter cakes will be then dried and sent to the sludges. Now we move on to the most advanced and recent process which is mostly useful in the industries, that is the zero liquid discharge process or ZLD process. The zero liquid discharge process uses all the above discussed methods, that such as the sedimentation, gravity settling, thickening for the operation of the zero liquid discharge. After removing most of the water from the slurry, we will be having the concentrated solids. The concentrated solids will be crystallized and it will be made more 100% crystallized solid. So the crystals will be stored and sold as different valuable products from the industries. This method is very advanced, so that it is most eco-friendly and non-polluting method installed in the different industries. Let's come to the end of the session. I hope you have understood the different concepts of solid liquid separation using the gravity sedimentation, thickening, filtration and zero liquid discharge process. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss about the transportation of solids. Thank you.